Welcome. I'm super excited to share with you the fast track plan to your first 10K month as a health or life coach without the niche overwhelm or needing to post constantly every day. And for those of you who are new here, we're going to go right into it. And I am going to teach you how to do it. But before we do, I want to ask you a question because a lot of times when I bring this up, immediately coaches get overwhelmed and they shut down. So if I were to ask you right now, if you could go out there and I was going to challenge you to make your first 10K from your coaching business this week, do you feel like you'd be able to do it? Yes or no? Comment in the comments. And if the answer for you is something like, I don't know if I could do that, or that's not enough time, or I could do that, but I would need to really increase my pricing and I don't think people would actually buy from me. Or maybe I could do that, but I need to find people who are ready to work with me. Or I need more time to build a following. Like my following is just very minimal. So I don't think I could offer my offer to anybody. Or I don't want to be a burden to people. That last one is a huge one. I hear from so many coaches who say, my program is, I don't want to annoy people with it. I don't know if they would want it. I don't know if it's valuable enough. I don't want to be asking for money, quote unquote, instead of seeing it as your program is transformational and can help people, right? So these things come up for a lot of coaches when it comes to getting to their first 10K month. And the other main reasons why coaches are not hitting their first 10K months is because there's a lot of myths out there that are very confusing or things that are just overwhelming and holding you back. So one of those things is that you're being told a lot of the time that with coaching, the standard rate is $150 a session or $250 a session. And you're being told maybe by your certification program that you need to, you could do a 6-month package, but it has to be only $500 and it needs to look like this many sessions and look like this. And that is just not true. The truth is value creation and creating a great offer can be priced appropriately, and it doesn't have to follow the standard like dollars per hour model. And when you get into that dollars per hour model, suddenly your clients get into that mindset too. It's just like if you communicate it as, I do this many sessions in this many hours, they're going to immediately go to, oh, well, that's this much dollars per hour, versus having a program that you structure and that stands out, which we're going to talk about today, is going to help you increase the value and position the value of your program. The other challenge that a lot of coaches are dealing with is that gurus are telling you need to be on every social media platform. And not only that, you got to be posting multiple times a day, which I don't know about you, but that just makes me shudder because I don't have time for that. And then the last piece is spending thousands on a website before you have proof of concept or solidly know your message. So I see a lot of coaches, they get their certification, they're all excited, and they think the very first thing they need is a website. And the truth is, if you don't already know what your audience wants and you haven't got an indication that they're interested in certain things, you don't know how to speak to them on your website. You don't know what kind of writing to put on your website, and you don't necessarily need that to get your first clients. So really, a lot of these things are very distracting and actually keeping you from doing the client generating activities in your business. So go ahead and tell me in the comments if you know what client generating activities even are. And if not, we're going to dive into those today. So if you are spending your time doing these things instead of client generating activities, I want you to put a yes in the comments. So the first thing is you're spending hours on writing posts with no results. You're undercharging and selling single sessions or packages of sessions that people don't see value in, because immediately they're going to, okay, so that's this many hours of my time and I got to spend and this many dollars, right? You're overwhelmed by all the possible ways that you can get clients and you don't know which one to prioritize. And then lastly, you can't decide on the right niche because you don't want to limit yourself, but at the same time, you want to stand out. So you're not sure what to do. You're kind of in that middle section where you're like, I could be general and try that first, but I also should probably be more specific, but I don't want to pigeonhole myself. to one thing, right? So if this is you, I want to let you know you're not alone. And actually, one of my clients, Casey, when she first started, she was also struggling with those kinds of things. And she didn't even really know what kind of coach she wanted to be. She had an interest in having a YouTube channel, but she didn't really know, like, I want to be a high ticket coach. And so she really was starting from ground zero. And when we first started, we were able to work together and help her get a marketing plan in place and all the basic foundations, like creating her program, putting herself out there online, all that stuff. And she was able to sign her first high ticket clients. She hit her first 5K month. She made her investment back during the program. And most recently, well, after she graduated, she was able to get to her first 8K month and then 11K month. So she kept steadily growing in her business. And this is something that when you focus on the right things, it can be much clearer. And not to say that starting a business is just a walk in the park, but when you're actually spending your energy on things that are going to help you grow, it's, a lot smoother. So that said, this is on my podcast, an interview with her. But moving on, my goal today is to help you go from overwhelmed and all the things we just talked about, spending all these hours on social media, all of that stuff, to where you have a plan to hit your first 10K months. So if you're ready to hear about how we're going to do that, and who am I to even be telling you how to do that, I'm going to do that first. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Haley, and I am a business and marketing strategist for health and life coaches. And I actually started out as a performer growing up. And that really got me ready to have my own business because you get rejected a lot. You have to put yourself out there. It's scary. People don't like your music. You take it personally. Like all the things that entrepreneurs go through, I went through as a performer at first. And I had to learn how to sell myself and pitch myself in a very short period of time. And fun fact for you, I actually had a top song in Macau, China. It was in the top 3, which is like the Las Vegas of China. And that was fun. But what I realized is that this business journey was still going to be, even though I had the mindset to tackle it, it was still not a super smooth journey. So when I first started, I had one uncommitted client at $50 a session, and I was able to grow it to a 6-figure coaching business. But, there were many bumps along the way, and I'm going to share some of those with you and try to prevent you from making some of the same mistakes. So I have a background in working with wellness startups, personal development brands, because I did work in business development and marketing before I transitioned into coaching on that. And thankfully now I finally feel like I've, gotten some street cred, quote unquote. So this picture on the left is a Chicago magazine. I was named as one of the top 25 coaches in Chicago. I also was named by the Primal Health Coach Institute as one of the top 6 business coaches for health coaches. This picture in the middle here shows that was just when I was working for some brands and their business development and marketing. And that was a fun journey because it was like a crash course in entrepreneurship. When you work at a startup, there's a lot of hours, there's a lot of things you have to figure out, and you're just expected to figure it out. So that was good practice. And then on the right, that's just me getting my cycling certification. I have a bunch of certifications in wellness. I always have had an interest in wellness and love helping make the world a healthier, better place, both mentally and physically, by working with health and life coaches to help you, get clients and make your impact in the world. So I almost gave up though. Okay. So I started in 2010. I was 16. I had to have my parents sign my paperwork to start coaching. And I got a lot of certifications initially because I thought certifications were the answer to all of my problems. I was like, you know what? I just need another certification, and then I will finally feel ready to put myself out there. I will finally feel good enough as a coach. If you can relate to this, comment yes. And I ended up getting these certifications, but they did not prepare me for running a business. They gave me some advice, and obviously that's not their job to teach me how to run a business, but I was still kind of stuck at the end. And I was just like, what am I supposed to be doing to start coaching clients? And what happened was I made a lot of costly mistakes. So I spent a lot of money just like I mentioned in the beginning, on a web designer and stuff I didn't necessarily need yet without, having some basics down in my business first. I just didn't have my proof of concept. I didn't have a clear niche. I didn't have a strong offer. And I also started blogging and posting and downloading all these free trainings and stuff, but I just wasn't seeing any traction in my business. And what happened, this was me just looking confused, overthinking every step, feeling very drained by the whole thing. And what happened was I was someone who decided to get my bachelor's degree. And so I went to study entrepreneurship at Loyola Marymount University in Los Angeles. And when I was there, I learned a lot about marketing. I learned a lot about minimum viable product. I learned about, finding out what your audience wants and doing market research and all that stuff. And we even had projects where we had to make a fake business and present it and pitch it like you see on Shark Tank and all that stuff. And I still, though, did not feel confident after that to go all in on my business, right? So I put my coaching on the side. I started working in business development and marketing for wellness and personal development startups. And little did I know, my job was not super safe. I thought that that was the safe route. That was a responsible route. That was the thing I was supposed to do. And don't get me wrong, it had its perks, but I ended up, the entire team ended up getting let go in 2017 on a Zoom call the day after Halloween. And not that that's bad. It was actually the best thing that ever happened to me. But at the time, I was devastated because I was working super long hours. I had put my own business completely on hold. I had learned so much. So I did love the job. I learned a lot about copywriting and marketing and planning things and recruiting, like all sorts of things. But I had this kind of YOLO moment. I was like, all right, well, the thing I thought was safer didn't work out. And so this is my chance to do what I wanted to do, which is have my own business all along and really go all in. So I decided to go all in on my business back in 2017, even though I had fear, even though I didn't feel quote unquote confident enough. And I was doing it while juggling a lot of side hustles until I finally figured out how to get clients. So this time around, I was smarter. I did have more business background, but I struggled with hoping clients would find me, spending a lot of time on content creation. I even had about 13 hours a week sometimes because I use a timer app and it told me that. And I was like, oh my gosh, way too much time. I struggled with a standout offer. I felt like I was kind of blending in with everybody else. And then my objections, like I didn't know how to handle objections or coach through objections or pre-qualify for my discovery calls. Like there's just so many things I didn't really know. And fast forward 6 months, I wasn't that much further along than when I started. So I knew what I needed was structure and more predictability in my business. And I decided to start working with some mentors, coaches. And of course, I did a lot of trial and error, which is just something you got to do, right, when you start a business. So I was kind of feeling my way forward, but eventually I finally hit a 6-figure coaching business. And this journey is what led me to creating the FAST framework that I use today with clients. And then I'm going to share with you at the end of today. So before we go into the FAST framework, though, we are going to talk about the plan to 10K months and how it works within the FAST framework. Now, if you're somebody too who is like, okay, yeah, I do want to have structure. I do want to have accountability. I want to show you an example of what accountability and structure did for Jennifer. So Jennifer here was spinning her wheels. She was trying to get the joy back in her business. And when we started working together, she wanted to transition her coaching business online. She didn't have a coaching in-person practice, but she did locally do some wellness things with essential oils and things like that. And so she wanted to be a coach online, and we worked together, and she was able to hit a 6-figure year after a year of working together, and was able to hit 15K months in our her first 15K month in our coaching together. So this is a little video again, but we won't go into that right now. But now let's talk about the plan to get you to 10K months, because I want to help you grow a profitable, sustainable coaching business so you don't quit And it doesn't have to take you 12 or so years like it did for me. So 2010, I guess I got the math wrong on here, but it took me a long time, bottom line. So here we go. This is how we're going to do it today. The FAST plan covers how to get to 10K months in less time and staying away from ads and tech. That's the first secret we're going to go through. Second secret today is how posting every day on social media might be damaging your business and what to do instead to attract high quality clients. Third thing is how to ditch the overwhelm that leaves you drained and stuck and instead shift to a 10K per month CEO mindset. And then lastly, we're going to talk about how to stop blending in and instead create a standout offer that attracts the right clients. So who is ready for secret one? Comment I'm in. Here we go. So we're going to talk about how to save some time in your business and focus your attention better. I knew for me, in order to get to 10K months, I needed to start having discovery calls with interested people. And what was the biggest challenge though was like, okay, I have some people I know, I have some people who follow me, but I didn't really know how to transition them from being a new cold lead to actually signing up for a discovery call, being excited and like signing up for my program. And so I kept trying to like pitch these calls, right? And not to say that like sometimes people are ready, they book a call, it goes great, they're ready to enroll in your coaching. But a lot of people were not ready for that yet. And they just needed, to get to know me better. And I just didn't know how to like transition into getting more discovery calls. So for me, the answer and the thing I'm going to be teaching you today was something called pre-offers. So what I mean by this is it is something that is a free baby offer. It solves a specific problem or dream outcome for your niche. And it is a non-invasive way to take a cold lead to a warm lead. So let me tell you what I mean by that. A pre-offer is that like bridge between new person, stranger, to you gave me some results and wins ahead of time. And now I know you and I would like to continue our journey together, perhaps in coaching. Now, not everybody will take that leap, but a lot of people will, and you'll know where to channel your focus when it comes to your leads. So let's talk about what that truly could look like and what it is and what it isn't. So a pre-offer is not giving away your whole program for free. It's not coaching someone for free on many sessions, pro bono. It is actually just giving your audience a slice of the cake and not the whole cake. Okay. So the whole cake is your program. The whole cake is the full transformation you provide with clients. The slice of the cake is just a piece. It's like, I'm teaching you this right now. This is a slice of the cake. So pre-offer themes, how do you know how to make one up? What is a pre-offer? What should I title it? What should it look like? We need it to align with your ideal client's dream outcome, or it needs to solve one of their biggest pain points. It also needs to be something that saves them time, effort, money, sacrifice, or confusion. You don't have to tackle all of those in one pre-offer, but you do need to go beyond just giving something valuable and actually seeing, is it going to save them time? Is it going to make things more convenient for them? Is it going to save them money? Like what is it that it's helping them do with less pain, right? And then the third piece is it has to help bring them either more health, wealth, relationship improvements, or more time. So when you're picking what kind of pre-offer, it should probably do one of those things. So if you're a health coach, obviously it'd be about health. Now let's talk about some titles or some examples and what you could do to deliver your pre-offer. If this is helpful, I just want to put a 1 in the comments and let's go through the titles. So the first title here is want to know how to meal prep for the whole fam in just 30 minutes a week for less than X dollars on groceries? Comment yes below. So you notice how this is focused on a outcome that maybe moms or whoever this person's niche is wants, and it's saving them time because it says just 30 minutes a week. And then when it comes to the money piece, she's giving, he or she, whoever's doing this post, is giving them an opportunity to save money or tell them how much they're going to actually have to spend on groceries. So you see how this is a specific problem. I'm not saying I can help you eat healthy for life. That's a huge thing to tackle in a pre-offer. That's not what we're trying to do here. But with this pre-offer, it's very specific. The second one here says, want to free up 5 hours a week for self-care? Comment yes for my time batching system. So this one would be like if I was a time management coach, or if I was a coach for high-level executives in health and I help them save time and do self-care without it taking up their whole day. This would be something I might use for my audience. And then the third one is, if I could show you how to stop overeating at dinner with a simple hack that takes less than 5 minutes, would that be something you're interested in? So you notice how all these invite a conversation or a question, like a commitment from somebody who wants the pre-offer, and it gives a clear problem or win or goal that you're going to help them tackle, and it gives them results ahead of time, which is a really good thing to do if you want to help people and have a conversation with somebody and be able to book more discovery calls. So that said, I just want to let you know, now you're probably freaking out. You're like, I got to make a document, or I got to go film a webinar or something so that I can make pre-offers. The truth is, your pre-offer for now, and I want to challenge you to make it as simple as possible for right now, because if you want to hit 10K months, we got to get moving. So for right now, I want to challenge you to just make it as simple as either a short video you make once and you keep reusing, a PDF, or a voice note. Like literally, if your question was about how to save time 5 hours a week for self-care, your answer could be you send a voice note sharing the system you use to do that. You don't have to make something fancy. It doesn't have to be super formatted. Like you could literally contact the person if they said yes and share with them what to do. And there you go, right? So that it doesn't have to be extreme. And this practice of giving pre-offers feels good because number one, you're giving value to your audience. So you're not just going straight in for, hey, do you want to buy my program? And number two, it leads to easier sales, because if you deliver on your pre-offer well and it works for your audience, then they are going to be more inspired to keep going on the journey with you. And these pictures here are clients who use pre-offers. So the first one is, it says that she got 5 strategy calls in 2 days. Another one here says that traffic to their website. So like you notice how when you do pre-offers, it leads to easier selling. Now, here's a question for you. Why will this get you to 10K months? And the answer is because it makes your audience feel special. It's different from, hey, I'm just going to pitch you. I'm going to promote you. I'm going to do posts and hope you see it. It actually makes your audience feel welcome. It makes them feel noticed. You're giving them an opportunity to have some value from you. And so it makes them not feel just like another number following you. So this picture just kind of shows what happens when you make some pre-offers. And the last thing I want to say is you can do pre-offers and use that as an opportunity to learn about what your audience wants, needs, likes. And then you're going to be in a much better position to go into ads or funnels or make a website or whatever. And you can even get your first sales from just doing pre-offers and then having discovery calls without an ads funnel, without all these fancy things. So your homework assignment for today, for part 1 here, is to come up with 3 ideas for very niche specific pre-offers. And if you're stuck on your niche or you're stuck on your pre-offers, I am going to be offering 15 calls with people who book them first, using the link later in the class today, where we can go through that and kind of talk through those things. And we'll talk about niche too later, but that is your homework assignment. So comment yes if you think you can come up with 3 ideas for pre-offers, and I cannot wait to see where you take your pre-offers. Now let's go into secret 2. We're going to talk about why posting every day on social media might be damaging and how to attract high ticket quality leads and clients instead. So social media posting takes a little bit of time away from you making pre-offers and you building those connections. So this is probably what you're doing on social media, and this is why this is damaging your business. You're probably scrolling on social media to compare yourself to other coaches, or you're spending hours writing very generic educational posts about like, hey, water is good for you. Don't forget to drink it, ruminating about what other people will think. So maybe you do that post, but now you're like, oh man, people are going to judge me. all the things, a lot of drama about it. And then you're wasting time editing graphics in Canva or something, just trying to get it all right and perfect. And you want to have the perfect feed. So if this is you on social media, raise your hand or comment one in the chat. And I want to let you know that you're not alone. And I'm going to give you an example of what we don't necessarily want to do to book clients from social media versus what we do want to do on social media. So here is a picture of a post that I took from Instagram. And this person has a lot of likes, but I just want to let you know, likes does not mean that they're, getting discovery calls and booking clients from their posts, right? And I've actually had a lot of clients and people I've worked with who've come to me and said, I have a ton of followers, but it's not converting. It's not going anywhere. And that's because these generic educational posts that don't go above and beyond, that don't give a clear call to action, that don't really stand out, right? So here's this generic thing that I could have Googled, like blueberries are good for the skin, and you can maybe add them to your yogurt, which is great, but it's nothing. Like, I don't understand who this person's talking to. So if I was this person's ideal client, I would not know by reading this post. And also, I don't see a call to action aside from commenting if I eat blueberries. But where do you go from that? If somebody comments, I eat blueberries, like, you just are like, cool, that's cool. Like, there's nowhere to go, right? So you see how this post is nice, but it's not going to move the needle in your business. And instead, we have to get you focused on using social media to promote your pre-offer and to use your post to allow your ideal clients to see, oh my gosh, this person is for me. This coach is talking to me in this post. So when we are creating posts on Instagram, for example, you want to start with a catchy headline for your niche. So for example, if I was a sleep coach for moms and I help them get better sleep and more efficient sleep, maybe my headline would be, are you a new mom and want to know the number one way to get deeper sleep in just 6 hours a night? And then all of a sudden, me as a new mom reading that, I'm like, yes, tell me, please. Right? So you catch my attention. Then you might go into a reason for your ideal client to keep reading or establish credibility in the next line of the post. So for example, you might say, you're not alone. Like, I've worked with hundreds of women, if you have, or you could just say whatever is true for you, but like on blah, blah, blah. And so you're just establishing that credibility or giving them a reason to keep reading till the end. And then the third part would be about giving a story or an implementable section that leads into the pre-offer. And then your call to action is, do you want my pre-offer? Or if you drop a yes, if you wouldn't say, do you want my pre-offer? But you say, drop a yes if you want to know the 3 more secrets how to do this. Or you could make the headline about the number one tip to deepen your sleep and share a story, and then say, do you want that number one tip? Comment yes below. So you see how you can either make the post about your pre-offer and inviting them to comment yes if they want it, or give a tip or something, and then something that expands on the pre-offer, or something that goes deeper or is a little bit taking them to the next level after they already read your post. So if this makes sense, comment yes and save your questions for the end too, because we'll go through those. And now I'm going to show you an example that I did in my Facebook group and why it's different than what I just shared with you. So for example, on Instagram, you might have one of those longer posts. On Facebook, it works nicely just to give the pre-offer. You don't even have to write the whole headline and body section. You can, but I'm going to show you an example where I just literally dropped a pre-offer and it got 74 comments. So here it says, want my top 10 tips to crush your Facebook organic growth and engagement free? Drop a yes below. So you see how I made one video that goes through the top 10 tips and I sent it to everybody who said they wanted it. And this was an opportunity to build 74 new relationships. And if they got value out of it, if they went and used it, I did book some discovery calls from this. And I think I have one, I would have to go back and check, but I think I have one sale from it. So you have to know, like, this is much more better use of my time than me just posting like, a long form post about blueberries. Okay, now disclaimer, you do not have to post a pre-offer every single day because it will get old. Okay, so you don't have to do it every single day. And you also don't need a million different pre-offers. So I want to let you know as well, like you um, you can pick one pre-offer and you can promote it in different ways. You can ask one time, do you want my number one tip to sleep deeper? And then another time, you can talk about what the tip is or in some way, shape, or form and be like, do you want to know how to do it? And in the pre-offer, you give them how they do the thing that you're sharing or whatever. So you see how you can change the wording a little bit. You don't need to have 1,200 different pre-offers to get started. Now, the best part about all of this, and the cherry on top, we're sticking with the dessert theme today, is that this will allow you to spend less time posting and more time being social on social media. So what I mean by this is if I get people interested in my pre-offer, they say yes, they do the pre-offer. I then have an opportunity to check in and be like, how did the pre-offer go? And obviously you don't say pre-offer, but how did it go for you? What questions do you have, etc. And you are demonstrating being their coach before you're actually their coach. And you're not coaching them on sessions or anything like that, but you know what I'm saying. So being social on social media makes you more memorable. And most people would think, oh, well, isn't me giving a pre-offer like annoying or a burden? But the truth is, this picture is a message I got literally because somebody was happy they got a pre-offer and they got support, right? So this is using social media to be social, which is what it's for. Now, my homework assignment to you is to use your pre-offers in your call to action moving forward. And my other challenge to you is to take it up a notch and be social on social media by either following up with your people who say they want pre-offers and seeing how you can help them in any way, or sending 5 welcome messages to your current followers. So my guess is many of you have at least 5 followers or 5 connections on LinkedIn or whatever. And so my challenge to you would be to acknowledge they're there, not sell them, not send a sales pitch, but just literally being like, hey, thank you so much for being a follower. Let me know, or for being a connection on LinkedIn or here. I post a lot about insert what you talk about. Let me know if you ever have any content requests. I try to make my content useful, something like that. Like literally just being like, what do you want to see? How can I add value? Something along those lines. Or you could ask a question that would allow you to better understand what kind of content to be posting or how to bring them value. Now, if that makes sense, comment yes below. All right. Now let's go into secret 3. So secret 3 is about how to ditch the overwhelm that leaves you feeling drained and stuck and instead shift to a 6-figure mindset. So chances are right now you're like, okay, I know what I need to do. I'm feeling excited. You're excited about all the possibilities and you want to start offering your slice of cake pre-offer, right? And that's why we have a slice of cake. And this is my niece on the left. And now I want you to watch the pictures. Okay. So you're going to leave here feeling all excited, knowing some things you need to do. And then when you sit down to actually do it, you start overthinking, you start dreading it, you start feeling uncomfortable because, I gotta come up with these ideas. I have a writer's block, all the things, right? And then rather than sitting down to do the task at hand, you're adding a lot of mental drama. You find yourself getting sidetracked by another free training online because you were looking for ideas. You find yourself wondering if you're choosing the right niche and if your pre-offer is good enough, all of the things, right? And then eventually you just feel completely drained. And at the end of the day, you give in to the overwhelm, right? This whole crash. And then you feel discouraged and then you got to start it over again and it takes a lot of energy. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, you get easily overwhelmed, go ahead and put overwhelm in the comments and let's talk about what to do about it. So what I want to encourage you to do is write down the result you want to produce today. So we'll go through an example next. And then once you write down the result, you're going to make sure it's broken down into steps that take 30 minutes or less each. And the reason why we do that is because if you have on your list, put out a pre-offer, there's a lot of little steps that go into that, which is I got to brainstorm ideas. I got to, pick which platform I'm going to do it on, et cetera, et cetera. And then you're going to write down the top obstacle or distraction that would keep you from doing that. So for example, if it's about the pre-offer homework assignment, one of the main problems or obstacles that I wrote here is that you won't be able to think of enough ideas, or I don't know what my audience wants. And so to um, combat that, and what you should do next is write one strategy or mindset reframe to handle the obstacle. Okay, so that just means like what is something you can do about it, right? So let's go through an example. So you leave this class and you come up with 3 pre-offer ideas. The steps to do that might be writing down a list of 10 pain points or dream outcomes that your ideal clients want, star your favorites, pick your 3 favorites, right? And then maybe you're going to put up an Instagram poll to see which one your audience likes best. Now, when you're doing this, the possible obstacle we list is, oh, I can't think of enough ideas, or whatever it is for you. And then the strategy or the mindset reframe or whatever we need to do to combat that is, if I can't think of ideas, I'll look into XYZ Facebook group, and you just insert the name of the Facebook group to see what kinds of frequently asked questions and challenges are being shared in there. And I'll do it for 15 minutes. So you notice how we are anticipating that an obstacle might arise rather than just going into the task, hoping for the best and feeling overwhelmed and disappointed in the end. So using this exercise gets you focused on, here's what I think is going to come up. Here's my little steps to make this more manageable. And here's the end result I want to produce by the end, rather than focusing on, I just want to have a website and that's on my to-do list. Like, that's a huge task. Of course, you're going to feel overwhelmed, right? So my challenge to you is to follow that process. But then anytime you get tripped up, all we need to do is redirect. And the question you can use is, what is my next logical step to redirect yourself at any time? So anytime you get distracted, anytime you pull up Instagram, anytime, you're feeling stuck, just ask, what's the next logical step, and return to that commitment. Now, if you feel overwhelmed, you're not alone. I've had a lot of clients who use the word, I feel stuck. So this is a screenshot from a client who did not feel stuck anymore, and that was their first time in 3 months. And this is another screenshot of what can happen when you stop being overwhelmed and you instead move into action, because overwhelm is really just a way for our brain to prevent us from moving forward with something uncomfortable, or it's a way for our brain to reject ourselves or protect ourselves from feelings we don't want to feel and things we don't want to do. So it might be a way to reject ourselves in advance, because if I just don't end up putting out the pre-offer, then I don't have to deal with any rejection. So I'm just going to stay here and I'm going to feel overwhelmed. I'm going to question and ponder what I should be doing to distract myself. And I'm just going to feel overwhelmed and blame it on the overwhelm, right? Like, that's what overwhelm does. But when you remove it, this is a screenshot from a client who was able to get into action, get out of overwhelm, and ended up booking more discovery calls, more proposals being sent out, more confidence in what she was offering, and her first high ticket client. So now let's talk about the FAST action plan for overcoming overwhelm. It is using that process I shared with you, where you write result you want, the steps broken down, the possible obstacle or obstacles that are going to come up, and then the way to work around those, or the reframe for those, or what you're going to do and anticipate in advance to overcome those obstacles. So if you have questions, go ahead and put them there in the chat and we'll come back to them. And now let's go to the bonus secret. Here we go. The bonus secret, how to stop blending in and create a standout message that attracts the right clients. So chances are you're super excited about pre-offers, but you're like, who do I make it to? And how do I make it special? And the reason why you're probably blending in right now with other coaches as a health coach, as a life coach, and you're saying, I help with work-life balance, I help with nutrition, I help with fitness, is because your message is very generic and you're not confident enough yet that you can deliver specific results. So you don't say anything. You just keep it really broad, in which case you blend in with everybody. And then the last thing is you're afraid of pigeonholing yourself. So you're afraid, if I say, well, I already struggle to get leads, so if I start saying I'm only for teachers, I'm a coach for teachers, then automatically I'm just going to be shutting myself down, which honestly, I can tell you firsthand, I got more people reaching out to me outside of my niche when I started saying I had a niche versus saying I was for everybody. So saying you are for everybody lands with nobody, as you guys know, and being specific attracts your ideal people, allows you to go deeper with them, and allows you to stand out. And when it comes to the results thing, I just want to acknowledge, like, you don't have to say, I'm going to help you drop 45 pounds. But you do have to get yourself to a place where you can talk about specific results as opposed to, we're just going to work on your general health and wellness. So I'll show you an example of a generic bio that I saw on Instagram, and that, and we'll talk about what we should do instead. So this says empowering you to learn, love, and heal. And this was I think like a life coach. So empowering you to learn, love, and heal, which when I read this, I'm like, okay, I can learn from books and Google. I don't know who I'm supposed to be loving. I don't know what this means. And then a healing from what? I don't understand, right? So I just get confused, and then I probably move on with my day. Versus if you have something more specific, like let's give this an example. And even this could probably be more specific, but we'll use it for today. And this is an online fat loss and wellness coach helping busy women in their 30s. So, in my 30s. Okay. Now I'm suddenly understanding that this is for me, right? If I'm 30, and then lose fat and look their best, get strong and sexy and confident in their own skin without fad diets and giving up their social lives. So you notice how she's talking about the pain points these women in their 30s are going through and what they want to experience, who they want to be, the destination, right? So in marketing, it's always easier to be promoting the destination as opposed to the plane ride. So what a lot of you coaches are doing, and this is from Alex Hermosi, that's his quote about you want to focus on the destination, not the plane ride. If you are doing this, if you're saying, I help you with sustainable habits, or I help you with relaxing and stress, you're focusing on the ride to the destination, not what being able to manage their stress, being able to have sustainable habits will allow them to do, will allow them to experience. Well, what is that end destination that you're going to get me to? That's what we want to focus on. So when you're trying to stand out, you want to be specialized in your niche, right? You want to be focused on the dream outcome that your ideal clients value and not what you value for them. You want to lower the sacrifice, effort, and pain. So like that one lady bio here, she lowers the pain because she tells them you're not going to have to do fad diets and you're not going to have to give up your social life. So that already is lowering the pain and effort and sacrifice for them. And then you want to increase certainty they can achieve the dream outcome, which we'll talk about in 1 second. So first, I just want to say about specialization. It allows you to charge high ticket. So if you guys right now feel like you cannot even sell a coaching package for $400, it might be because you're not specialized. So in other words, if I make a course that's weight loss for women and I call it that, I probably won't be able to charge that much. But if it's weight loss for realtors and it goes through the exact struggles realtors have in their day about they give so much to their clients and then they have nothing left for themselves and then they have to, eat on the go and their schedule has to always be changing. And I'm talking literally about those pain points. And for realtors, I can suddenly charge a lot more. And each level you get to, like for realtors who want to lose 10 pounds or more, like each level allows you to charge more. It makes it more specialized. And same thing with increasing certainty. So when you are able to, if you really want to stand out, you have to be able to, in your program, have tools and tricks and methods and things that will help increase the certainty that your ideal clients can achieve the dream outcome that you want to promote. And so if you, for example, are doing weight loss and you want to make it easier for your ideal clients to lose weight and they don't have a lot of time, you want to increase the ability for them to get there in as little amount of extra time for them as possible, you might consider like, I order Instacart for them and they, I help them save time on grocery shopping. And that's one part of my program. Like, so you see how you're going above and beyond here in helping to increase the certainty that they can achieve the dream outcome. And that will help with your confidence about what you're promoting in your standout message. Does that make sense? Comment yes, if it does. And we will go to more questions later though. So if it doesn't make sense, feel free to put something in the comments. All right. So your homework for this section is to clean up your elevator pitch. So for those of you who have a bio, like what we were talking about before, empowering you to learn, love, and heal, let's talk about, we need to clean that up. So how to clean that up is use a template for yourself to get started. So, for example, I help insert your specialized niche, achieve X outcome. So, insert that dream outcome, that destination without, and then insert, whatever pain points or things they want to avoid, right? So this is something you can get started with. And if you need advice on this, if you want feedback, like I said, for the first 15 people who book calls, you will get to do that. And we'll talk about that shortly. But let's recap, okay? So the summary of what we talked about today with the 4 secrets is how, number one, we all know that selling to people who want to hear from you and who have raised their hand and indicated somewhat of an interest is much easier than selling to people who don't want to hear from you, who are strangers, right? So we want to use a pre-offer to help see who is interested, to help you attract clients in less time and not need to do super elaborate ads or fancy tech right now. The second thing is we want to post more strategically to get interest in your pre-offer and be more social on social media. So we don't need to post every day, but we do need to increase the quality of our posts, and we want to make pre-offers on a regular basis. The third thing is implementing today's overwhelm exercise will help you do this whole journey without as much distraction, without as much mindset drama. And then the last piece is we got to stand out with more specificity to capture more attention. So you probably are like, okay, cool. I got this. I'm going to go on my way to 10K months. But the truth is, what might happen after this, we all know that time management is a common thing I hear in this group that you guys need help with. And I'm going to take a drink of water. Another thing that might happen after this is you find you need to get more people seeing your pre-offer. So you need to get more leads coming in each week so that you have more and more people to keep making pre-offers to. And then the third thing that might happen after this is somebody might actually like your pre-offer and book a call with you. And you might be like, okay, I have my first discovery call. I don't know what to do next. Help, right? So these things might happen, which is good. We're anticipating the future. Okay. We are planning for our obstacles. And so, what do you do? What do you do about that, right? To get the most out of the 4 secrets, the next thing to do is incorporate them with my FAST framework. So the FAST framework I'm going to share with you is going to help you see where the pre-offer fits in on your business journey and how to manage your time when things get busy after this class and all the things that come with going through this process. So you're going to make pre-offers. Now you have to learn how to sell. Like there's a lot more to this, right? So the FAST framework stands for followers, action, sales, time management, and transformation. And this is the framework I use with my clients and adapt to their needs. And I'm going to go through what each part of a FAST framework really stands for and what we would be doing together if we were to work together in my Zero to Hero Coach Inner Circle, which we are opening up enrollment for. And the followers portion of the FAST framework really stands for helping you increase the amount of interested people coming in the door. So, and increasing the amount of people seeing your stuff, because what happens for a lot of coaches is they have great content, but nobody is seeing it. And they're not putting themselves out there in front of their ideal clients, or their ideal clients are not finding them. So we need to talk about how to expand your online visibility, how to no longer just rely on word of mouth, because that can just be something that goes up and down depending on the month, depending on how busy people are, etc. And then also helping you make your business more predictable by booking consistent discovery calls. So what I mean by that is, again, we go back to that formula we talked about. If you're making more offers, minus no's equal your results. So if you want to have more predictability, we have to allow you to be in a position to make more offers. Now, the second part of the FAST framework that we work on is helping you with that compelling messaging. So creating messaging and content that's so compelling your audience takes action. So they do raise their hand for your pre-offer, or they do sign up for your email list, or they do book a call. And we want to get you out of not really having a post plan, not really having like a game plan, and instead have something more cohesive and something that, is focusing on nurturing leads and getting them interested in your offer and that kind of thing. And then the last piece is we also not only just need compelling messaging, but we also need you to have a compelling coaching program. So what is your coaching program like? How are you going to break it down? How are you going to remove friction or some of the challenges your ideal clients might go through in the program, and plan for that, set it up and all of that stuff. And then the last pieces are sales. So when I talk about sales, what I mean is we need to get you in a place where you feel confident about what you're selling. You don't feel like it's a burden. You're creating an offer that your audience is willing to pay top dollar for, and you are able to close. So you're able to get a higher conversion rate with your calls that you have. And you're also able to, in your marketing, coach through common objections so that they don't come up as often on your phone call. Or if they do, knowing how to coach through common objections, right? So that doesn't mean like forcing somebody into a sale, but it does mean sometimes people just have fear about doing something that they know they want to do, but it's a little scary, or it's a little outside of the comfort zone, or it's going to require that they change their habits or something, and they want to like guard that. So being able to, as a coach, because that's your job, is like to help people shift their perspective, achieve their goals, hold them accountable to what they say they want. You got to be able to coach through those common things, right? And lastly, the T's of the FAST framework stand for time management and transformation. So with time management, we're talking about how do you help your clients, achieve time management, lose the confusion and overthinking, and learn how to prioritize the client generating activities. Also, how to grow your business while still having time for being a mom and or employee, right? So I do have a lot of clients who don't have a lot of time. So they don't have the luxury of, spending hours editing Instagram graphics and, doing things that just are busy work. So we have to actually get them focused on connecting with people, being able to make pre-offers, being able to feel confident on their discovery calls, all that stuff. So helping you just kind of get focused on what you should be doing. And then I do have a business growth habits tracker in the program that will help you with what do I focus on, and keep it simple for you, and also keep you accountable because you can track it if you want. Now, the last piece is transformation. So that's two things. One, what's the personal transformation required of you to start thinking like an entrepreneur, to start problem solving like an entrepreneur? How do you overcome your imposter syndrome or overthinking or fear of rejection, or you hate being on video? All the things that come up along the way we have to work through. And I do have a background in, I'm a certified human potential coach, and I've had a behavioral change certification. So it can help you with those habits or those mindset things that are blocking you. And then the other thing is the transformation you want to provide for your clients. So really getting clear on that messaging and getting good social proof, meaning like testimonials and feedback that you can use in your marketing as well. So that said, this is all covered in the Zero to Hero Coach Inner Circle. And the whole point of that program is to help you go beyond your certification or wherever you're starting from in your coaching business, where you're like, okay, I know I want to coach, but how? How do I make an impact? And our goal is to help you make an impact and make money doing what you love, and not quit as being a coach, because a lot of people, they start coaching, but then they have their day job and then it gets put off and all the things. So if you want to coach and you want to make your impact and you want to make money as a coach, this is for you. And what I want to invite you to do, and what we'll do, is put in the chat my calendar link so that you can apply for a call. There's a couple questions in there that you'll answer to book your call, and you'll be able to get not only a call to see if it's a fit for the Zero to Hero Coach Inner Circle, but I'm also going to offer the first 15 applicants that I will review your pre-offer, and I will also look at your iHelp statement to see if it's on the right track and give you some feedback on that. So I definitely want to reward the action takers on this call. I definitely want to see who's doing their homework. And I also want to let you know that in the program, we're going to be walking through how to book those discovery calls, how to promote your business online, and how to stand out and build a community in your field. So unlike other programs, I just want to let you know like a little bit more about what's involved, so that if you want to apply for a call, you can do that. We are going to be giving you daily access to my personalized, customized feedback. And I have a private client community where we do that. So you will be able to, even though this is an inner circle, meaning there are some other people in it, you are going to be able to, submit something you want feedback on or get my personal attention on your stuff. If you put your Instagram in the group for me to look at and give you feedback on, I can do that. If you have a website you need copy edits on, I look at that, I give you that feedback. So you do have access to me. And then in this program as well, you're not just a number. We have intimate small group coaching sessions. So it can be anywhere from 4 to 10 people. It's not like you're going to be in a giant program and not get your questions answered. Like, I really do want to coach you on these calls, know what you're doing this week, like give you the next steps, that kind of thing. And then this program also is for health, life, and mindset coaches specifically. So I know a lot of marketing things might be different for like business coaches or social media coaches. Like they might have different things they could be doing that maybe health and life coaches, like it wouldn't apply. So I really try to keep this program focused on health, life, and mindset coaches. And the last two things is I just want to say that, yes, we cover mindset, but this is really focused on strategy a lot. So a lot of programs out there, they're maybe just focused on like mindset, using your mindset to grow your business. But I understand that a lot of you, if you're new, you probably don't know the answers within you about what to do in your business. So I don't expect you to have all the answers. I am coaching you on the strategy, and I'm also able to look at your social media and your content and your coaching offer, all that stuff, and give you audits throughout if you want them. So these are the kinds of things we're doing. And in general, if you're starting out and you're coaching friends and family pro bono right now and you want to stop doing that, I just want to give you an example. One of my clients who did that finally stopped coaching friends and family, had her first client. And then the other thing is this is a picture on the left of a client's following when she started. And then this is on the right is where it went. And now I think it's even higher, but she grew her following organically and was able to just have more people to connect with, so that she was expanding her circle past just who do I already know locally, who do I already know, friends and family wise. Like she was able to actually get followers within her niche. So followers aren't everything, meaning you can have a big following and still not have conversions, but it does help when more people are seeing your stuff who are in your ideal client avatar. And it can help you a lot when it comes to getting more leads, right? So also we are talking about in the program how to get client attraction opportunities. So this picture is on the top here is one of my clients who got a speaking opportunity. I have clients who do some corporate wellness opportunities like lunch and learns and stuff, and that's how they get in front of their ideal client. So it's not just posting and like having private discovery calls. It's also getting you opportunities to be in front of more people so that you can get more calls and whatnot. And then we do cover a lot about content. So even though you don't have to be posting 12 times a day, we do talk about, how do you create content that's compelling? And I give you templates and I give you things that you can plug and play in your business, but customized to your voice and your niche. And that's just there for you if you want to use it, but it helps you not have to reinvent the wheel every time in your business when it comes to posting and writing emails and all that stuff. And this is when it comes to the time management piece, I think it's important to talk about this because I had a client who was spending like 10 months working on certain things in her business, but with our coaching together, she was able in about 3 to 4 hours to achieve things that she'd previously been just dwelling on for 10 months. So if you're stuck, if you're like, I get down rabbit holes, we need to, we could definitely work on that together. Now, I'm going to move on to the next slide. So now let's talk about sales fears as well. If you've been afraid of sales, if you have been dreading it, this is one of my clients who was able to start loving sales because she saw it as coaching, which it kind of is, and holding space for her clients, allowing them to see past their fears, all the things. So what is included in the Zero to Hero Coach Inner Circle, or how do we get you to, your goals? We work together on weekly small group coaching sessions. Those are recorded, and you're able to also have the daily access to me in the feed in the community where you can post questions and get support. And you're also able to get my online business library where you can have time-saving assets, done for you templates, things that you can use as you go throughout the program. It's not like a self-study course. You're not just going to be alone in the online learning platform. It's kind of just there for you to help put into play some of the things that we'll do together and use it to get ideas and things like that. And then I also have checklists and a weekly business growth tracker, like I told you about, so that for all of my type A's who are like, I need it organized, I need some guidance, it's all there. And for those of you who do schedule your call and you're one of those first 15 people, you will get some fast action bonuses. So what those are is you're going to get lifetime access to the online learning library. So that's where the templates are. You're even going to get, after you graduate, you'll still be able to hear the recorded coaching calls ongoing for the rest of the time if you are one of the fast action takers. So that will be available for you. And you'll also get social media trainings throughout. And then you'll get lifetime access as well to my guest speaker trainings. So I have guest speakers on things like, how do you legally set up your business? How do you pitch yourself for local marketing opportunities? How do you brand yourself? PR pitching, all sorts of things. And I'm always bringing in new people as well. So there will continue to be more that you can look at. And if you, because you'll have lifetime access, if something changes on social media or I add new modules or something like that, you'll always get the updates in your portal. And lastly, if you're a client of mine and you're in the tribe, I do have lead generation marketing services I do, and those will be available to you at a lower rate than the general public. So things like LinkedIn lead generation, getting your landing page or website designed, things like that. You don't have to do that, obviously. It's just there for you if you get to the point in your business where you're ready to start outsourcing or you need a website. That's always an option. And then I want to ask you some questions here. So if all this did with the Zero to Hero Coach Inner Circle was teach you how to use marketing and sales to sign and help more clients, would that be worth it? Comment yes if you feel like it would. And if all this did was also help you become a more consistent, resourceful, confident coach and business owner who's not easily distracted or overwhelmed, would that be worth it? And lastly, if this was to set you up with a standout, clear message, and we would work together on your high ticket offer, would you feel excited? Would you feel like that's worth it? So chances are you've probably already put a lot of money into your business, meaning you've probably already spent money on a certification. And my goal for you is to not let that go to waste. It's to use that stepping stone and actually build a sustainable, profitable business and be able to, use your gift of coaching that you've been practicing and you've been wanting to do. Now, because the Zero to Hero Coach program is pretty hands-on and you're able to put your docs in there and like ask me for feedback and ask questions and stuff all throughout the way, there is a number of limited spots. So like I said, first 15 people to apply will get the pre-offer review, the niche review, and we'll be able to see if it's a fit for the Zero to Hero Coach Inner Circle. And what I want to do now is just kind of talk about probably what's going through your mind. So you might be sitting here and you're like, cool, that sounds good, but like, I don't know, I've done courses and I get overwhelmed or whatever. And it's normal to have fear. It's normal to feel a little bit afraid of investing in your business and taking the next steps. And this is actually a picture of a client who was afraid to invest initially. And she wrote me this little note about how she, in the program, made her investment back, plus continued to grow afterwards. And she says, I can't even remember who the girl who was afraid to invest. So I also want to set the stage that like, investing in your business is pretty normal. And if you are a restaurant or like a salon or in another industry, most of those businesses kind of expect that year one is going to be in the hole. Year two might break even. Year three will probably break even and be profitable. And so they expect that they're going to have to do that. And as a coach, I think we get spoiled because we don't have a lot of overhead. We can get our certification. We can connect with people online. And it's this huge, amazing opportunity. And actually, it's a gift. But at the same time, if you don't have the sales and marketing skills and you can't repeat that, it's going to be hard to get clients, right? So the best part about having a coaching business is you can invest and learn sales and marketing up front, and you can be profitable in record time. You don't have to be like a restaurant or a salon or something like that and be sitting, waiting, wishing for like 3 years, right? Because there's just a lot less expenses. There's, you learn your skills, you're able to connect with people, and you can sell one-on-one or group coaching and do it pretty quickly. So my guarantee to you is I am willing to partner with you and help you get to your first or next sale and have the tools and confidence to repeat it. The reason why I talk about the first or next sales, because usually that's the one where you're struggling the most. Like you're like, I got to set up these foundations. I don't know how to find my ideal client. All the things that lead up to that first sale, I want to teach you to get those things set up so that you can have the sale. And then a lot of times the momentum builds, it gets so much easier after that. Like you're going to be able to have your first case study. You're going to be able to know how to repeat it. You know how to do a sales call now that converts. You know what your offer has proof of concept. So it gets much easier. You build much more momentum when you get that first sale. And so my guarantee is that you will be able to get your first or next sale in the program, and I will work with you until you do. And if you want to apply, there's the link again. And now what I will do is I will check out the questions. Here we go. Let's see. Do we have any questions? Oh, nice. So somebody said this works. I did this and landed 3 clients in 1 month. Woohoo. I can't see your names if you aren't used to using StreamYard and haven't approved your name. So sometimes I'll just have to say Facebook user said. But that's great. I wonder if it was one of my clients or who it was. Someone said, I'm in. Awesome. All right. What else? It's about engagement. Yes, it is. Well, I would say I would argue with that because engagement it depends on what it means. If you're getting a lot of likes, it doesn't mean you're going to be amazingly successful. If you are engaging in a conversation, that's more what we're talking about. All right, someone said, what if your followers on Instagram are not your niche? Okay, good question. So then we need to increase your following of people who are your niche. So I would change your bio to be attractive to your ideal client. And I have a training about that at haleyrowe.com about setting up your Instagram bio. And then we also need to start going to Instagram and searching or connecting, collaborating with people who do have your ideal clients as their followers and putting yourself out there. So maybe doing some lives with people who have your ideal clients as their followers and compliment what you do and giving value in that way. And then they find out about you and then they follow you, or using the search feature on Instagram to find your ideal clients to engage with, liking some photos, just making yourself they can see you when you engage with them. So if you like their photos or something like that and start to engage with their posts, they're going to know about you. They might go to your profile. They might follow you. We're not selling them and reaching out to them like that, but we're just engaging with them, liking their posts, etc. So that could be a way to expand your audience to people who are in your niche. And then the other people who are not in your niche will either unfollow you, which is fine because they're not your ideal clients anyways, and they would have never bought from you, or they just follow you and that's fine. So that is one question. Let me just keep scrolling. All right. Somebody said there was, oh, yay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So Zen and I have talked a couple of times, and I'm happy to hear that helped you. So that's great. Okay. So buying an Instacart for them is a great idea. Yeah. Like make things easier for them any way you can. Go above and beyond. Right. Okay. What other questions do we have? We have the Calendly here in the chat. So if you want to apply for your call, we can do that. I'll turn off my slides. Questions. How many of you already have an idea for your pre-offer? I want to know. Ooh, this has been super helpful. Thank you. Thanks for coming. I got lots. Yay! Well, I'm glad you have ideas. Now it's about turning them into reality and putting them out there. Any other questions before we hop off for tonight? Aw, thank you, Zen. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. It was great to chat with you today, Brian. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming. If you have any other questions, you know where to find me. I'm here in the Health Coach Nation Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Health Coach Nation. I'm also on Instagram at Haley_Rowe. And I will talk to you guys soon. Have an amazing night, and I'll see you later.